Yate shiketo shidana. It is so wonderful to connect with you all again. I hope that this finds you well and safe in this moment. I am sending each and every one of you big bursts of love and light. We continue to be supported in all of our different digital communities, and on YouTube just passed 1,000 subscribers, which is feels really exciting, especially in this moment where we haven't been posting a lot of videos. And I wanted to make this really just as a way to reconnect, and with the coming autumn equinox on Tuesday the 22nd, it was the perfect reason to just create this message and to share a little bit of what I've been thinking and working through. For those that have been following on Instagram, I've been in this 9-month journey of getting my certification as a personal certified coach, and it's been really incredible. I have been working and collaborating with a cohort of just phenomenal BIPOC community members, and we are nearing the end of that, getting close to graduation. I have a few more requirements before I graduate, and it's been wonderful to connect with so many in our community, both the Indigenous community and within the Grownup Navajo community, to coach and to be sharing in that healing modality. Coaching has been a altering, life-changing, transformative journey for me, and I'm really excited to share it with Indigenous and other BIPOC community members as my practice continues to grow. And I've also been thinking in this period of the pandemic, as I've been navigating co-parenting and life demands of running my business, the demands and just commitments that I've made to my family and my partner, and the ways that all of the roles that I have, how can I navigate them, how can I be better and grow into them more. But also, I think one of the biggest meditations that I've been holding really close has actually been an offering that, for those of you that follow Indigimama, who is this incredible just birth worker, just beautiful vessel of wisdom, on Instagram, and I get their newsletter. One of the videos that she had shared was how she plans for less, and that idea of planning for less, particularly in this moment of pandemic, where I'm away from my homelands. I live in my partner's land, which is still on lockdown, so we are not able to travel freely. It's really essential travel that we're restricted upon, and so considering all these ways that I don't have full agency and autonomy, it's been really helpful to just remind myself of that, of planning for less, which led me to this greater meditation that I've just been really holding, in that there's no perfect way to pandemic. I am a recovering perfectionist. I still work at letting go of perfectionism, and one of the things, especially in this moment where so many of us are really working toward dismantling and calling in and calling out white supremacy where we find it, one of the things that has been really helpful to me has been identifying the characteristics of white supremacy that I participate in, recognizing that my behavior, I have been very much accustomed and led into navigating in this colonial space, and so there are definitely behaviors and traits that I have that that uphold white supremacy, and one of them is this idea of perfectionism and production. Being a small business owner, there is a lot of there is a lot of work that depends on me and me getting things done. And of course, living in a pandemic where my partner and I are co-parenting and trying to manage both of our organizations, I am trying to fit over 40 hours a week into essentially the time that I have on my own, where I don't have to worry about a toddler climbing or pulling things and getting into mischief. It really is like fitting 40 plus hours a week into like 25 hours, which is impossible. Like, it's impossible to do that. And so really trying to release like my expectations and moving into the autumnal equinox, which is happening on Tuesday. I've really been thinking about just this idea of like taking ownership of like what I am learning, what I need to continue to work on, but also just giving myself grace, planning for less in my day so that I'm able to be a good colleague, be a good partner, be a good mother, and community member. I really try to invest my time in things that make impact, and a lot of this time of the pandemic has actually me being nurturing toward myself. I have never felt homesickness like I feel now, and due to like health concerns that like I have, like I'm not able to travel freely and actually physically not able because we have a checkpoint and lockdown within the community that I live in. And so there are a lot of barriers. And so it's been really mentally difficult to feel like I am enough, that I'm getting enough time in nature, that I am giving enough to my family, and that enoughness is so deep rooted in, of course, a lot of just internal work that I want to continue to examine, but there are also threads of that relate to this idea of like white supremacy and the way that our society really upholds this production and perfection like mentality. And so I've really been trying to meditate and like think about what I can own of that, what can I unlearn, and challenge myself. And that's been something that I've been holding on to, and also trying to move through, and it is hard, and you know, just I always kind of think about it too in terms of there are every day, like sometimes when we're having to kind of, I think, make it kind of this superficial like comparison. There are days when like you have bad hair days, when you are having like an emotionally, mentally hard time, right? And you don't want to see the mirror, like you don't want to see like what that looks like. And so sometimes it's hard when you recognize that you've been participating in a particular system or a way that isn't aligned with like your inherent values. So this work can be hard, but it's one that has been really rewarding to me, to think about the ways that I can really align myself in this giving of quality time and really valuing like my ability to connect virtually and digitally to my family, to my parents and beyond, but also just like how I can continue to connect to my son in this moment, as he's growing, right? And so looking at the ways that I can be a vessel for learning and challenging some of these behaviors. And so I'm really grateful for these teachings, and they help me to find purpose. They help to alleviate the grief and the heartbreak and the loss that is simultaneously like very much embedded in just the nature of this pandemic and its impact on my Diné community and larger just network of individuals and who I admire and work with, who are dealing with this, like the fallout of this. And so I wanted to make this video really as just a reconnection point and share maybe even in this rambling state, like what I've been thinking about, ways I've been using this moment, and trying to reflect on meaning, that I can not just give this moment, but that of which I can act on. And so I'm really looking forward to more conversations. I've had some really amazing connections with members of my cohort around these topics, but also, my partner and family as well. And so I'm really grateful to the Grownup Navajo community, which continues to grow, and I am looking forward to a beautiful Diné New Year celebration. I have some ideas of things that I want to co-create with you all, so please stay tuned toward that. So I hope that you continue to socially distance, care for yourself and your loved ones, and stay safe, and there's more to come soon.